Hello, I'm Rhonda, and this is Susan. Welcome to In My Shoes. We have some great guests today, don't we, Susan?
Oh, we have a great lineup of guests today. We're actually going to be talking about something that kind of hits home personally with me, and it's about weight. And being a performer in this business, it can be really hard on you mentally because you think you have to be skinny and you think you have to be anorexic to get the part or to be a performer. And unfortunately, a lot of us resort to, and myself, eating disorders that I had younger in this business. And I finally realized that it's okay to be who you are, and no matter what size, what shape, what walk of life you are, embrace your individuality and be proud of who you are. And we have some guests today that have had these same challenges that are going to talk about how they overcame that and are now being very successful in this business, pursuing their dreams as an actress and not letting it bother them. So.
Well, I know from a personal level, I'm overweight, I know that, but that doesn't affect my talent in any way. I'm still a good actress, I'm a director, I'm a producer, and if I let that stand in my way, there's many things I wouldn't have been able to do. Like, I never would have done Woman in the Mirror, I would never have been able to do a TV show, I'd never been able to be with other things that I've done, like I worked with Tyler Perry and different shows I've done, if I'd let that stand in my way. Everybody wants to be healthy and everybody wants to be accepted, but sometimes it's just not a feasible thing at the moment. And I think actually America and the world should figure out sometimes that we should look deeper into the talent than what you see on the outside.
Exactly, and especially in television and film, every character has got a different look, a different feeling. Just because you don't get hired for a role doesn't mean it's because how you look, because people don't like the way you look. You just don't fit that character. And nowadays, with all the reality shows, people want real people now. I think that the image that's perceived in our society, especially with media promoting all these airbrushed anorexic supermodels, if you look around, not many people, if any, look like that in real life. And I really wish that, especially young girls and even people in our age range. I'm going to be 46 in 2 weeks, but I'm proud of that because it's like, this is who I am, this is what I look like, and it's okay to be you. And it's okay to look like whatever you look like. Be proud of that and own it and embrace it. Quit trying to look like that magazine cover.
Right. Well, I'm really impressed with the new ads and stuff that are using plus models, because I think that's great, because that opens up opportunity for people. Self-esteem is very important. Sometimes it's not what the other people sees, it's what you give the persona of what you see of yourself, that actually they don't like what they see because you're giving out that persona of, well, I'm not good enough anyhow, or I might not be what you want, so I'm not going to try my best. So don't ever be like that. Let your heart be into it. If this is what you want to do, the business you want to do, be acting, or it be singing, or it be just being working on a computer, whatever you want to do, you have to put forth that you're the best that you can be. If you give 100% and someone else doesn't like it, they're the one with the problem, not you.
Exactly. We have so much inner beauty inside of us as well. And like I said, I really feel like eating disorders are so prevalent these days because people are expected to look a certain way and live up to expectations of what everybody thinks you should look like. I think you should look like you and be proud of it and own it. And, like I said, I had my own battles when I was younger, and I overcame that and realized that, this is who I am. And if people don't like it, that's their problem, not mine. And I really want to encourage people out there that if you do have an eating disorder or some kind of problem or struggle that you're struggling with, be proud of who you are. That's the most important thing I can say. Be proud of who you are. Doesn't matter what size you are, and go out there and follow your dreams and do whatever it is that you feel you want to do with your life.
Yeah. Protect your children too, because this day and time bullying and stuff like that is really bad. When I was a child, I didn't know that I wasn't like the Queen of England or whatever. I thought I was the most talented kid out there. I'd get my guitar and I'd play and I'd sing and I'd be an actress and I would write and I would do stuff until someone told me that I was overweight or that I didn't look the way they wanted me to look. Then that's when I started having that self-conscious and worrying about it. Because as a kid, you don't know that until someone says something to you.
Right, right.
So we need to protect our children and then encourage everybody every day. What would it hurt you to take 2 seconds out of your day to say, you know what, Susan, you look awesome today? I didn't
Rhonda,
hurt a
your
bit.
eyes look beautiful today. Look at those
Thank
blue
you.
eyes. Look at those blue eyes.
Thank you. Well, we better get to our guest.
Oh, yeah, we have guests on the show today.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of this topic, we have got a great guest with us today who is an actress here locally in Knoxville, Tennessee, and she's done quite a bit of stuff over the past few years that you probably might have seen her on television. So let's welcome to the show, Miss Emily Muse. You look beautiful today.
Yes,
Speaking
You look
of,
awesome.
Thank you.
How
I'm happy to
photogenic
be
you are.
here.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank
you
you
know,
for having me.
I've actually seen a lot of your work. Actually, I edited a piece that you've done not too long ago. You put it in a film festival, and I've seen you do a lot of acting and stuff. And I'm very impressed. You're very good.
Thank you. I've been very blessed to being in Knoxville. You don't think that there's a lot out there, but there is. And just because, like you're talking about being overweight, people think, well, I can never do that because I look like this, or some people may think that because they're disabled, they can't go do that because I'm this or that. You never know unless you try, because there's a need for all kinds of different types of people, different looks. And I'm not letting that stop me. If they like me, they do. If they don't, move on. There's other stuff.
did you
So-
ever feel like when you first started that intimidated, thinking you had to look like that supermodel on the front of a magazine that was anorexic and airbrushed? Did you ever feel like, oh my God, I have to look like this to get in this business? Or how did you overcome that and think, you know what, I'm just going to be me and do this?
Sometimes when I would not get chosen, which even skinny or different size people, I should say, don't get chosen, it doesn't mean it's them. It's just not what they're looking for. Sometimes I'll get discouraged and think about is it my size? Do I not look pretty enough for that role? Am I not, what did I do wrong? But it's not necessarily me. It's just they're looking for certain things, and just because you're not chosen, there's other stuff that you will be chosen for. Some things I've gotten, some things I haven't. You just got to move on.
Yeah, because it's what they're looking for. They're looking, especially in these reality shows and the crime shows, they're looking for a specific look to mimic, to kind of resemble an actual person in real life.
And the thing is if the only thing I would give advice is to love yourself and to know that you're wonderful, you have a talent. Don't worry about what you look like when it comes to being chosen. And if you're not, there's other stuff out there.
What's some of the projects that you've worked on recently that made you feel like, this is something I really want to do? I want to act and stuff.
In 2010 was the first thing I ever did. It was for Snapped. And I didn't have an agent for 2 years. And I got an agent. And then things help when you have somebody like that to help you, because they have connections you don't have. So, but a lot of things I've gotten on my own just by going out there and looking. And I always say to myself, and I say to others that are trying to act and do things, like, should I go for this? I would rather try it and know the outcome than not do it and wonder what if. So if you do get rejected,
What is a goal you got coming with your acting? Is this something that you want to do long term, or is this just something like a hobby? Or
I can never picture things not acting. I love it. I've always wanted to be an actress. I was in drama in high school. It's always been there. But I could not imagine just giving up. So, one of the things I want to say too is if somebody can't take rejection, that would be the only thing I would say, this is not for you, because everybody gets rejected sometime, no matter what you look like. You just got to get it and go on.
You're not going to get every contest, or every audition,
No.
or win every contest. You just got to go, you know what, I did my best. Go on to the next one. You cannot get discouraged. You just got to
Yeah.
keep trying, because you are finally going to get that one. You're
Exactly.
going to go, yes, yes, yes. And,
And
it's so rewarding.
get yourself out there. Your talent agent is a big deal, but it's hard for them to focus on just one single person. Go out there and get your resume out there, and a lot of times too, I pray about every time I have an audition. I pray about it, and if it ain't right, then it just wasn't meant to be. And that
Sometimes
helps
I've
me.
found when one door closes, another one opens. Or even in my past, if I didn't get one audition or one gig I was wanting to get, all of a sudden another one opens up that I wouldn't have been able to have done if I'd got this one. It's even bigger and better. It's like, oh my gosh,
Exactly. And
So basically, you can't quit no matter what.
no matter
Yeah.
what, because every year gets bigger and better.
That's good.
You just,
So, what do you see for your future? What are you wanting? What are your goals? What are you wanting to do next?
well, I want to be in big movies, and a lot of times my accent has kind of held me back. 'Cause I'm from the South. We're in Knoxville, it's there. It's hard to hide, but there's going to be people that are looking for somebody that looks just like me, that acts just like me, and there's be somebody out there that looking for somebody just like you and acts just like you. So just don't give up. It'll happen. You just got to keep at it.
That's the best advice you can give.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't keep at it, I mean, Susan, she travels all over the world with her job, and if she just gave up and just stayed locally and just done a few shows around here, then where would you be today?
Exactly.
Yeah. Same thing if I gave up with Woman in the Mirror. I mean, that was in plans for years. I actually wanted to do a feature film by the time I was 12 years old, and I started writing plays and started doing stuff like that. If I'd gave up, then I would never been able to do that. Now, that's not where I'm stopping at.
Right.
There's been some roadblocks along the way, but there's more stuff coming, and you can't give up.
And sometimes it's worth taking that road trip for that audition. I went to, I would be in the movie Candles with John Schneider and Wes Studi and Catherine Eastwood. It's a featured role. I'm excited about that. And we drove all the way to Lexington for that audition. And you think, well, that's a drive. I don't know. I probably won't get it anyway. Well, I did take that risk, and I did get a part in it. So you got to take risks.
Yeah, it's not
Gotta
necessarily
take
going to come
chances.
to you. You got to go to it.
Right. And auditions are different in person. Every audition I've done in person, I've gotten a part, which has only been one. But I auditioned for Dog Years, so I'm still waiting. Still waiting.
We'll be hoping for you. We'll be hoping that you keep waiting on that.
Thank you.
What is something you would like to see happen here in Knoxville?
I would like to see more feature films. I think that Knoxville and surrounding areas has a lot of good locations. Some are very remote. They're not around a lot of the city. So I think that's a plus, because a lot of times they don't want to be surrounded by a lot of people when they're trying to film. So I just think that there's a lot of potential.
Well, we thank you for coming on the show with us today. Thank you so much for being a
Thank
guest
you for
and talking
having
about
me.
this. And we're going to look for you on TV, and we're going to look for you in movies. And thank you for your words of wisdom and advice for people out there watching.
Thank you.
And don't forget us. Always come back to the show. We appreciate you
Always.
coming.
Yeah, we want to hear updates of what you're doing. So please definitely come back and see us again.
Anytime.
you, Emily.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, be sure to stay tuned. We have another guest coming up, and we'll be right back for In My Shoes.
Hey peeps, Pastor Brian here, PB. It's time for your 2 for You. It's where we're going to take 2 minutes and we're going to look at a specific passage of scripture. And today we're talking about determination. And determination, when you have a determined spirit, it shuts this. Everybody can do the talk. There's a lot of talk. But what are you showing people with your life? And I want you to look at a book with me, the book of Ruth, and it's in the first chapter. And check this out, I'm going to pick it up in verse 16. And let me give you a little bit of quick backstory. Ruth is telling Naomi, hey listen, I really want to stay with you. I really want to go with you. Your God will be my God. Check it out, the scripture. Just read the whole chapter. Read the whole book. But the 2 minute, you can read chapter 1. But look, I'm going to pick up in verse 16. It says, but Ruth replied, don't urge me to leave you or turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me. Now check this out. When Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped. When you have a determined spirit, when you have that determination, talk is cheap. People see it in your life. When you're saying, hey, I'm committed to this. Hey, I'm not going to back out of this. It means your word is your bond, and people are going to see, hey, there's something different about that teenager. Hey, listen, we know that teens have a bad reputation, I guess you could say, of being flighty or they won't commit to anything. But when you have a determined spirit, you immediately separate yourself from the pack. So, hey, that's my time. It's 2 for you. You can kick me at PBNJ. It's P_B_N_J. Pastor Brian and Jesus, or peanut butter and jelly, however you want it. Or you can check out my Facebook link. It should be somewhere at the bottom of this. But that's my time. Peace. Check you later.
Hi, and welcome back to In My Shoes. I'm Susan, and this is Rhonda. And we're here to welcome our next guest to the show, who's also an actress, a stage actress, here in Knoxville, Tennessee, to talk about her story. Let's welcome to the show, Robin Paige Sharp.
Thank you.
Hey, Robin, welcome to the show. We're glad you're here today.
Thanks, glad to be here.
Well, welcome. Well, tell us a little bit about your background and what you do, and let's hear about you.
Well, I do a lot of things. I'm an educator, but I've kind of given up teaching full time now, so I mostly substitute and I privately tutor. That's what I mostly do. And then I do theater when I can and get paid for it when I can. That's not all the time. Sometimes we have to do things for free. And so but that's my passion and my love. So.
And you're more of a stage actress as opposed to film and television, correct?
Correct.
So how do you find that? Do you like playing different characters, or is that one thing you like to do, is to become somebody else for that moment?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's a great way to relieve stress too. you know.
Right.
I agree, 100%.
Get into somebody else's
That's
shoes.
getting your head down for me. It's like,
Well, tell us too, you've had some struggles you've had to overcome in your life, and you actually went and had some surgeries done. Tell us something about some of the things that you've been through that brought you to this point.
Well, I started out my whole life until I was about 35. I was very thin and didn't realize I was thin. I thought I was fat, but I go back and look at those pictures and I wish I was that fat now. Probably 115 pounds at 5'5" is not that fat. So, but about 35, I guess my metabolism caught up with me and my eating didn't change, and I'm not a super great eater, meaning the types of food I choose. And so my parents were starting to get worried about me and were worried about me getting diabetes, and they just said I was going down a bad road, and I was having problems with my knees, my hips, my joints. I got plantar fasciitis, and it was so bad that it was really hard to walk, and even had to wear a walking boot. And so I checked into weight loss surgery. I had insurance at the time that would pay for it, and I had it done this summer. July 14th will be 2 years.
So what was this surgery? What exactly did they do?
I had the gastric sleeve. There's several different kinds, but mine is where they trim off, actually cut out 80% of your stomach, and they staple it up and glue it, and it's about the size of a hot dog, and you have to, you can only drink liquid and certain things for the first, 6 weeks, and you have a prep before that, before you ever go into surgery, for 2 weeks. So for about 2 months, you're on a liquid diet.
so do you get hungry with that, even though, that's
they
gone?
said you wouldn't, but I'm sorry I did. But I got hungry, but what I would drink would, I'd have V8 juice or special kind, Welch's grape juice. There was a certain brand that you had to keep the carbs at a certain level. You had to have a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of carbs, and a certain amount of fat in your diet, and you had to count it. And then I would drink, they had protein drinks, and they had their own food and soups and drinks that you could have. And V8, this Mott's apple juice, and the grape juice were my 3 big things, and the chocolate protein drink. And I'm not much of a milk or smoothie person, so that part was hard. But you had to get your protein in, or you would be malnourished.
So what happens if you ate like a hamburger or something?
Oh, you couldn't do that. I couldn't eat meat until about the 4th month. And by about 6 months after surgery, you're eating pretty normal. You're in what they call phase 4, which is life phase. And it's smaller portions, like an ounce would make me full. at first. Now I'm up to about 5 ounces. So it's portion control, and that's what I needed because my problem was portion control. I wouldn't snack. I'm not a snacker, but I would eat 3 huge meals a day. And I'm talking, I didn't even know what it felt like to be full. Now I know, and I stop. I'm able to stop eating. And that's good. And I eat about 4 times a day, just 4 smaller meals. Sometimes it's 2 or 3, but some days it's 4. And every day's different. My body may be hungrier one day than the other. And I do know that being hungry is related to how much rest you get. If I don't get a good night's sleep, I'm going to be hungrier.
Wow, that's good to know.
yes, it
Wonder
is.
why I wake up, hungry.
And if you like sleep apnea, I had sleep apnea really pretty moderate to severe. I have it probably slightly now, but I don't wear my breathing mask and don't really have the issues that I had. But sleep is huge. And sleep is huge, and you can't lose weight if you're not getting enough sleep.
Wow.
Your body won't let
That's
you. I
interesting.
think it hangs on because it thinks it's deprived of something.
So this is surgery. Now, did you do this for yourself, or was this because people made you feel bad about, you gained
Well,
weight?
I mean, my family is who probably said the most about it, but it's the people who love you the most that are going to tell you the truth. My friends didn't talk about it a lot. I know they noticed, but so I guess I did it for my health and reaped a lot of other benefits from it. I mean, I think I'm enjoying theater more now because I'm more agile. I can do more. I just got out of a show where I went down a manhole, climbed upstairs, ran all over the place up and down. It was a 2-level set. I couldn't have done that 100 pounds ago.
So you were getting a good workout during the
yeah,
show.
yeah. Oh yeah, but and I feel better. My joints, my knees, my hips, they don't hurt. Plantar fasciitis went away.
Well, speaking of performing, I think our society in general has this misconceived perception that you have to be this skinny, anorexic, 18-year-old supermodel to be an actress or be a performer, whereas the reality of it is you don't have to be that. You want to be yourself or play a character. How has that affected you in your performing, and how have you overcome those obstacles and just gone forward and done it?
Well, I think there were always parts for me in theater because there's everything from A to Z usually in every show. So I don't think I get more parts. I mean, I think I'm more right for certain parts because I don't have the weight. I mean, the weight held you at a certain place of what you were right for. So it's opened those doors and broadened the horizons of what I can be considered for. But I don't think fat people can't work. By any stretch of the imagination, not in theater for sure. But I feel better, and I think I can do a better job because I feel better.
Right, because you can
physically handle it.
handle it better.
So what do you feel about film?
Well, film is harder for me, maybe because I started out on stage at age 12, and when I see myself on film, it's up in my face, and I'm critical of myself. But I know that film is for all walks of life too, because they do want real people like Kathy Bates, Melissa McCarthy. I mean, they're very successful and they're heavy, So I think it's more me when it comes to film. But I need more opportunity too. I don't know if I know I haven't pursued it like I should.
It's all about just embracing who you are and owning it and being proud of it. We're all beautiful in every single way. I don't think you have to be anorexic or skinny for people to think you're beautiful. If you have a great personality and you're beautiful, you're very photogenic, and it's just, I'm so proud of you. I've seen some of the pictures, and even at your heavier weight, you were beautiful. And what I'm so proud of you for is that listening to you talk and talking about even then, you were still confident in who you were. And I think that's the key, is just being confident in who you are. If people don't like what they see, that's their problem, not yours.
I think I thought of myself still as thin because I was so thin as a young person. In my brain, in my mind, I was still thin. I didn't see myself on a daily basis. Now, when I came across the reflective surfaces in a mirror, I was like, I don't know that person. Who is that? And we go to a restaurant and I couldn't sit where I could see myself in the mirror, So some of that was denial, what I really looked like,
Which is opposite of eating disorders, because people with eating disorders, They could be anorexic or skinny and just be a rail and look in the mirror and they see themselves
fat.
as heavy. So I think how we see ourselves is differently than how other people
I
see us.
don't think people are
sometimes.
judging us like we judge ourselves. I don't
Exactly.
think they look at you and say, "Ooh, she's fat. Oh, that eyes are." I don't know. Her hair is out of place. I don't think they do what we do to ourselves.
No, and we project what we want people to feel about us too, because that's how we feel about ourselves. Because if we feel like we're not worthy of something, a lot of times that gets in our way, because the people they're looking at us differently, like you said, like they see us. But when we start projecting the way we feel about ourselves, then they start to feel that. Then they start, that's not what I'm looking at. That's not what I'm wanting. And sometimes you let that stand in the way of being loved, getting parts. Or even just everyday life, if we stopped and we felt so bad about ourselves that we didn't feel that we could go any further, or that we was good enough for something, after a while, we're just going to get depressed or fall back, and people's not going to like us because we're not going to have that personality. A person with a great personality, as Susan said, is people will love you because of your personality. If you become bitter and cold because you hate yourself or what's inside of you, then that's what they're going to see, is that bitter and coldness.
You're going to love yourself if you want other people to love you.
Right? It's true. Very true.
Well, great. Well, Robin, thank you for joining us today. Please come see us again and keep us updated. We want to come see one of your shows. We want to come watch you on stage. But yeah, please keep us posted on what you're doing and on your journey. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
Yep, that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in again, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Oh, wait. We forgot the Robin with 2 B's.
Oh,
If you want to find our guests today online, you can find them on their websites and on Facebook. And Robin, tell them how you spell your name.
It's Robin with 2 B's, Paige, Paige, and Sharp with no E.
So 2 B's, no E. Thanks for joining us on In My Shoes. See you guys later.
Seem to stop time. You make me feel like I'm walking